Welcome back to the Battle Camp. So yesterday I was watching an interview with Eddie Hearn. Subscribe. Fucking hell, I'm going mad. I was meant to say surprise, surprise, but all I can fucking think about is subscriptions. I should really just start this again and start recording again, because what the fuck? Subscribe. Anyway, let me just start this again, but let you guys hear the first 30 seconds of nonsense. Right. Welcome back to the Battle Camp. Yesterday I was watching an Eddie Hearn interview, surprise, surprise, and I think it was with Fight Hype. I can't be certain, but I think it was with Fight Hype. And the Fight Hype are one of these American outlets that basically interview someone for 4 minutes and then manage to cut it up into fucking 33 different clips. And I've said this in a previous fucking video, but it's so annoying. Like, you have to skip from one to the other, and then you got to try and work out, right, which came first. Like, do you understand what I'm saying? It's really annoying. I understand why they do it, but fuck me, can you just at least just upload the whole video and then put your clips up as well? Anyway, that's nothing to do with what I'm going to talk about here. What I'm going to talk about is Eddie Hearn mentioned about Al Haymon'S. So he was asked about Al Haymon'S coming into the UK market, etc. And then this pay-per-view that's going to happen on February 23rd, which is basically 2 weeks away. What's the date today? What's it? 8th, 7th today. So yeah, just over 2 weeks away. And he was asked about Eddie Hearn was asked about Al Haymon'S coming into the UK market, and Eddie Hearn basically said, "Oh well, he's not finding it very easy the same way I'm not finding it very easy going into the States." And then he mentioned the ticket sales for the Degale and Chris Eubank fight aren't doing so well, and I was a little bit surprised by this, because I thought to myself, this is a decent enough fight, and I thought it would, be able to shift a decent amount of tickets. I was a little bit apprehensive when I heard that they were going to host it at the O2. For me, I thought it would be more of a Wembley Arena type fight, because Wembley Arena is considerably smaller, but still can hold like 7, 8, I think, 1,000, 9,000, maybe 10,000, depending on how you configure the seats, if that makes sense. But yeah, so I thought that Wembley Arena would be more suited, and it was quite what's the right word? It was quite oh shit, the word's gonna come to me in a minute. But basically, they were taking quite a big chance with O2, because the O2 I think holds about 20,000 or something like that. Anyway, so I thought, let me go on the O2 website. So I did. I won't put screenshots and stuff in this video, because it can't be asked. But you can go on the O2 website yourself and you can check, and he weren't lying. It feels like they're struggling for ticket sales. I kind of just clicked on random sections across the arena, and a lot of the seats hadn't been bought yet. The thing I think is a little bit behind it is, well, there's two reasons. One, I think the starting price for tickets is, from what I've read, is £47.50 plus booking fees and stuff. You're looking at 50 quid to be in the cheaper seats, which are kind of higher up and stuff. Now, I don't know what Eddie Hearn prices his shows at, and if they're trying to just follow the model, that's understandable. But at the same time, you don't have the platform that Eddie Hearn has. He's got Sky Sports News, like literally constantly every day banging out news about fights that are upcoming. You don't have that. The information about this fight isn't as easily accessible, and for fans like myself, going thinking about it, thinking, do I want to spend 50 quid on this fight? To be fair, I probably would, but I don't have any mates that are up for it to go with me, so I haven't. And it's a bit of a shame, really, because here's a confession: I'm a really big James Degale fan, man. I stayed up to watch him win his first world title against Durrell, and I've followed his career since he turned pro. And in the beginning, I was a fan of his skill, but I wasn't so much of a fan of him as a person. But the more I kind of watched him in interviews and saw his personality come out, he just seems like a nice bloke, and I can understand his point of view in life and stuff. And I've followed his career ever since, and I really wanted this to do well for him basically, because he's had a unconventional route after he became champion. Because he signed up with Al Heyman and just started fighting in the States, and he didn't really have a big homecoming in the UK. So it's a shame for him, really, that tickets aren't doing well. Who knows? Maybe in the next week they might pick up, but the UK market isn't like the States. Like what I saw with the States with Tyson Fury and Wilder, it seemed like, I saw a couple of videos of people saying, "Oh, these tickets aren't being sold. These tickets aren't being sold." But apparently, in the last week or whatever, a lot of tickets went. So that's how they do things in the States. That's not how we do things here. Usually, if you're going to have a sellout, it sells out within the first week or so, and then you don't really have people. If people they when the fight gets announced, they know if they're going to go or not. If that makes sense. No one ums and ahs, and you don't get that many sales in the last week. The card itself, it's got some good names on it. It's got a decent supporting fight with Bermain Stavern and Joe Joyce, so that's a interesting little fight. Although Stavern seems like he's past it, and you expect Joy Joyce, Joe Joyce to get rid of him quite easily. And there's some interesting kind of unanswered questions with regards to what Degale's got left in his tank, and whether Chris Eubank can take advantage of a James Degale if he isn't at his best. So it's a decent fight. I personally don't see it as a pay-per-view fight because of the whole undercard. But yeah, man, disappointing that it's not doing so well in terms of ticket sales. And one thing that I've personally picked up on, I don't think ITV are doing a very good job in terms of promoting the fight themselves. Um, I don't know whether this is going to happen closer to the time, and it might be because they want to spike kind of pay-per-view sales. And when I say this, I mean having a Chris Eubank Jr. and James Degale on kind of primetime chat shows, Jonathan Ross on ITV or something like that, or like whatever, things like people that aren't boxing fans watch, having them, exposing them, saying, "Oh, we're fighting, by the way, on this date, and make sure you buy the pay-per-view." They're probably going to do stuff like that, but I think they could have done some of that up front when the tickets got announced, just to say, "Look, guys, we're we're fighting, and you can get your tickets here." All they did was a press conference that was on YouTube, and people like me watched it, but I can't. There wasn't enough of nothing happened in terms of any altercations between the two fighters. So none of that footage really exploded. It was just the hardcore fans that watched it, and ever since then, it's just the ITV kind of social media kind of content and stuff on YouTube. It hasn't really been great. The kind of face to face hasn't even been released yet, and I think they should have released that a couple of weeks ago at least, and then kind of done more of a kind of how the UFC do, following the fighters around, what they call embedded. They could have done like some sort of footage like that, and released it on a every few days, like an update on how these fighters are doing in camp. I know all of this stuff costs money, but if you're trying to build a brand and trying to build ITV box office as a brand where you can watch high level fights that are pay-per-view value, that have pay-per-view value, then you gotta invest to start with. And they're just kind of signing up these fights and not investing enough uh, in terms of content, effort, finances, I think. And it's showing, man. Like, this fight hasn't really captured the imagination of a casual audience. I don't even know if people know that these two are fighting. And to be fair, in my humble opinion, I think both of these have got big enough names. Like, people in the UK know who both of these guys are. So it's a shame. Leave your thoughts below. Let me know what you think. Please like and comment. And what was the last one? Subscribe. And I'll catch you next time.